In the heart of Minneapolis, a city known for its vibrant communities and rich history, a sudden tragedy has sent shockwaves through every neighborhood and household. The loss has ignited a wave of outrage and deep grief, not only across Minnesota but throughout the entire nation, as people struggle to process the events that have unfolded. Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a beloved mother of three, lost her life in a federal immigration operation gone tragically wrong. Her death has left a void in her family and community, and has sparked urgent questions about the circumstances that led to this fatal encounter. The incident, captured on video and rapidly shared across social media, has galvanized people from all walks of life. Protests have erupted, with demonstrators demanding not only justice for Renee, but also greater transparency and accountability from authorities. Communities are coming together in powerful displays of unity. They gather at vigils, link arms at protests, and hold up signs calling for answers now. Their message is clear: mourning alone is not enough. There must be action, and those responsible must be held accountable. The protests have grown, with crowds chanting for justice and raising their voices in solidarity. These demonstrations serve as a powerful reminder that the people of Minnesota and the nation refuse to let this tragedy be swept aside or forgotten. In response to the mounting unrest, Governor Tim Walz has taken the extraordinary step of placing the National Guard on standby. This move underscores the seriousness of the situation and the government's awareness of the community's pain and anger. While National Guard soldiers have not yet been deployed onto the streets, the state is making preparations for any potential escalation. The sight of empty city streets and police barricades is a stark reminder of the tension that now hangs over Minneapolis. Now, city and state leaders face a critical challenge: how to protect the right of citizens to protest and demand justice, while also ensuring public safety and preventing further violence. The decisions made in the coming days will shape the future of this community and its pursuit of justice. To truly understand the protests that have swept through Minneapolis and beyond, we must first understand the woman at the center of it all, Renee Nicole Macklin Good. Her name has become a rallying cry, but behind the headlines and the controversy was a real person whose life touched many. Renee was a devoted mother of three children, and those who knew her best describe her as someone who always put her family first. She was known for her warmth, her infectious laughter, and her unwavering support for her friends and loved ones. Whether it was helping a neighbor in need or cheering on her kids at school events, Renee was always present, always giving. The shock of her sudden death has sent waves of grief through her family, friends, and the entire Minneapolis community. Vigils and memorials have sprung up across the city as people gather to mourn not just the loss of a mother, but of a friend, a neighbor, and a beloved community member. The pain is palpable, and the questions surrounding her death have only deepened the sense of loss. In the days following her death, federal officials were quick to label Renee a domestic terrorist. This official narrative was met with disbelief and outrage by those who actually knew her. To them, the government's characterization felt not only inaccurate, but deeply unjust, an erasure of the woman they loved and respected. The video footage of Renee's final moments paints a very different picture. Instead of a threat, we see a mother caught in a terrifying and chaotic situation, desperately trying to protect herself and those around her. The fear and confusion on her face have haunted those who have watched the footage, raising even more questions about what really happened that day. This stark contrast between the official statements and the memories shared by her community has become the fuel for the ongoing protests. People are not just marching for justice, they are marching to reclaim Renee's story, to ensure that her humanity is not lost in the noise of political debate. Supporters insist that Renee was a victim of circumstance, not a threat to her country. They are determined to honor her true legacy, a legacy of kindness, resilience, and love for her family. For them, remembering Renee as she truly was is an act of resistance against a narrative they believe is false. The fight over Renee's identity, over who she was and what she stood for, has now become central to the calls for justice. Community leaders, activists, and everyday citizens are demanding not just answers, but respect for her memory. For many, ensuring that Renee Nicole Macklin Good's story is told honestly and fully is just as important as demanding accountability from those in power. Her life, her legacy, and the truth about her final moments have become a symbol of a much larger struggle for justice and dignity. Renee's death occurred during a massive federal operation in Minneapolis. She was shot by ICE agent Jonathan Ross while sitting in her car. The government claims she tried to run over the agent, but video evidence suggests she may have been turning away. This contradiction has fueled mistrust and anger. Mayor Jacob Frey has openly challenged the federal narrative, calling it false. The viral video has empowered citizens to question official accounts and demand the truth. The agent's past injuries add context, but don't answer the central question: was deadly force justified? The city remains on edge, awaiting a clear, unbiased investigation. The release of the video sent shockwaves through Minneapolis, igniting a wave of immediate and widespread protests that quickly swept across the city. People from all walks of life poured into the streets, united by a shared sense of outrage and a desire for change. The city, already tense, became the epicenter of a movement demanding accountability and justice. Demonstrators soon gathered outside the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Building, a powerful symbol of federal authority and government presence in Minneapolis. The building's steps became a focal point for those seeking to make their voices heard, as crowds assembled with signs, chants, and a determination to be seen and acknowledged by those in power. The protests, while passionate, have remained mostly peaceful. Thousands have come together, united in their grief, anger, and hope for a better future. The atmosphere is charged with emotion, but also with a sense of solidarity, as people of all ages and backgrounds march side by side, demanding justice and systemic change. Governor Walz has publicly praised the peaceful nature of these gatherings, emphasizing the community's right to protest and the importance of allowing citizens to express their pain and frustration. His words have encouraged many to continue demonstrating peacefully, reinforcing the idea that protest is a vital part of democracy. This recognition from state leadership helps to distinguish the vast majority of peaceful demonstrators from the isolated incidents of unrest that have occasionally occurred. It's a reminder that most people are there to seek justice, not to cause chaos. However, not all moments have been calm. Some clashes with law enforcement have erupted, especially as tensions rise during larger gatherings. Authorities have at times responded with pepper balls and chemical agents, leading to chaotic and tense scenes that underscore the volatility of the situation. These confrontations highlight just how deep the emotions run on both sides. For many protesters, the stakes are deeply personal, and the sight of riot police only intensifies the sense of urgency and frustration. The city finds itself at a crossroads, with each confrontation adding to the collective memory of this pivotal moment. Yet, despite the moments of tension, the overwhelming story remains one of unity and peaceful assembly. People continue to gather, holding hands, supporting one another, and showing the world that their movement is rooted in hope and a shared vision for justice. The community's message is unmistakable: they will not be silent. Their chants echo through the streets, carried by megaphones and handwritten signs, as they demand to be heard by leaders at every level. With each passing day, the crowds grow larger and more determined. Their call for answers and accountability grows louder, a testament to the power of collective action and the enduring spirit of those who refuse to let their voices be ignored. As protests intensified, Governor Walz placed the Minnesota National Guard on standby. 13,000 soldiers and airmen were told to prepare for possible deployment, though none were immediately sent out. The move is a precaution, aimed at ensuring protests remain safe and infrastructure is protected. Walz emphasized that the Guard's role is to support peaceful demonstrations, not suppress them. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan echoed this, stressing the decision was made out of caution, not aggression. The goal: prevent chaos, not provoke it. By holding the Guard in reserve, Walz aims to balance public safety with respect for protest rights. The decision reflects the immense pressure on state leaders to act responsibly and transparently. The current protests evoke painful memories of 2020, when George Floyd's murder sparked global outrage. That period saw massive unrest and criticism of delayed National Guard deployment. Now, Governor Walz is determined not to repeat past mistakes, preparing the Guard early as a precaution. This proactive stance is meant to reassure the public and political opponents that the state is ready. Yet for many, the sight of the Guard, even on standby, brings anxiety and fear of escalation. Some worry a militarized response could stifle peaceful protest. The same action seen as responsible by some is viewed as threatening by others. These divisions reveal the lingering wounds and sensitivities in Minneapolis. Alongside the National Guard, Governor Walz mobilized the Minnesota State Patrol's mobile response team. 85 specially trained troopers were deployed to support local police and manage crowds. This approach increases security without immediately resorting to military force. The troopers help maintain order, protect property, and ensure protests can proceed safely. The layered response, local police, state patrol, and National Guard and Reserve, shows a careful, flexible strategy. The goal is to prevent over-militarization while staying prepared for any emergency. For many, the visible presence of the state patrol is both a reassurance and a reminder of the high stakes. Protesters' top demand is a fair, transparent investigation into Renee's death. Initially, the Minnesota BCA and FBI announced a joint probe, raising hopes for accountability. But the BCA soon withdrew, citing the FBI's refusal to share evidence or allow state participation. This move left the FBI in sole control, fueling suspicions of a cover-up. State leaders and the public have condemned the lack of transparency, intensifying calls for an independent review. The investigation's credibility is now a central issue in the protests. The community's determination to uncover the truth has only grown stronger. Minneapolis stands at a crossroads, grappling with grief, anger, and mistrust. The protests are a vital expression of the community's demand for justice and accountability. Governor Walz's actions reflect the challenge of protecting both public safety and the right to protest. The controversy over the investigation remains a major obstacle to healing. Only a transparent, impartial review can begin to restore trust. Renee's story is now part of a larger struggle for justice and institutional accountability. The nation is watching to see if Minneapolis can find a path forward through peaceful protest and honest dialogue. The hope is for a future where every person feels safe, heard, and valued. The community's questions deserve real answers, and they won't stop until they get them.